Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Hurt and I did my senior thesis on social media. I decided to focus primarily on Twitter. I personally like using Twitter a little bit better than Facebook. I know both are probably equally as popular now, but social media is everywhere you look, whether it's in your business, on a billboard, in a magazine, pretty much every form of advertising you can think of. So with that being said, it's really cool to use it now in my professional line of work. I use Facebook and Twitter every day. It creates a free form of advertising. It is a good way to send a short message very fast because it's so user friendly and just to establish our brand and our awareness. With that being said, that's kind of what got me into my research. I wanted to see actually how powerful social media was. So what I did was I gathered information based on demographics, based on people's television habits and their social media habits, and then integrating all of those together to see who was doing what and when and why. So I started off by creating a survey on SurveyMonkey, and I went through a few research questions. It was very short. I sampled about 112 people, and their age range from 17 to 58. I wanted to know how many hours they're watching TV, and that was each week average, and all of the information came off of the prime time hours between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. I also wanted to see if they noticed how television shows are interacting with their viewers. A lot of times on reality TV shows, on the bottom of the screen, you can see people interacting live on TV. So someone will have their verbiage of their tweet, they'll hashtag maybe who they want to win, the name of the show, and then that kind of creates an online or on social media community between people with a lot of commonalities. You know, they're probably watching the show already, so they're rooting for the same person, or they're not. So I also wanted to know how many times on average we're using social media, and then how many times on average you're using it while you're watching TV. So seeing how all of those integrated and then doing a cross-tab simulation, I could kind of figure all of that out to really fine tweak everyone's social media habits and their patterns. And then I also wanted to see if watching a TV show, well, if they started watching a TV show based on somebody else's tweet or post on Facebook. You know, maybe they saw something and they read a little bit more, and then they saw it again next week, and then finally they realized that they were watching the show themselves, and if that happened because of social media. I kind of went further and further into more research questions. I think I had about 11 or so. But the main demographics that I ended up gathering from my survey was about 74% were females and 26% were males. That could simply have to do with maybe who likes doing surveys better. I'm not sure. But the most common age range was from 18 to 25, and that was almost 60%. And that is kind of what I expected. And of those, 43% had an undergraduate degree. 19% had graduated from high school. Maybe they finished with an associate's degree, or they haven't fully completed college. So with my findings, when I finally got into it, I noticed that 50% of people on average watch TV for only 0 to 3 hours each week during prime time. So that didn't surprise me too much. Everyone's lives are very busy and hectic. But the next question I followed up with was, do you tweet or post while watching TV? And almost 60% of people do. And I was shocked. I did not think it was going to be that high. I know that, you know, maybe during commercial breaks they have downtime, so that's my guess is when they do it. So only 17% said that they do not tweet or post while watching TV. So based on my methodology from my media research methods and my thesis statement, I assumed or guessed that being on social media and reading people's tweets and posts about a show would further the reach of that show simply because you're seeing what's happening, you're currently following that show, and maybe you'll end up watching that show. And if you don't, at least you know what's going on. So simply because you're friends with someone who watches, Survivor, and you don't watch it, you probably know who got kicked off. You probably know who they don't like, who they like. So that's pretty neat to see, and that's exactly what ended up happening. Watching TV with social media efforts drove people to see other things that they don't watch on TV, and that was 70% to 30%. So, and that's kind of what I figured it would be. My thesis statement was, do others users on social media further your reach of the television show by logging into your Facebook or Twitter account and seeing, who got kicked off that week or what's going on in this show during primetime hours? And just about 60% of people do. They know what's going on in a show that they don't currently watch. Maybe they started to watch a show that they never thought they'd watch before, and that's just because of social media, and that is so powerful. So if you can think of just television, as simple as that, how, actually beneficial that social media can be for your personal life or maybe for your business or anything, it's really neat. And over half the recipients decided that social media did further the reach of the show that they don't currently watch. And the social media patterns varied very differently, actually, between someone 18, maybe someone 45 old. And then also altered depending on their education levels. And the highest category that I found were females aged 18 to 25 who use social media the most. I kind of guessed that right away. I mean, I fall right into that category, maybe because I went to school for marketing or I use social media during my job every day. I'm used to that. I don't know, but that was the case. The first crosstab that I completed was based on females, and 67.1% of females said that they further the reach by showing and checking posts or tweets. 41.5% of those females also had an undergraduate degree. My assumption was that more females would have more tweets. A lot of the information was based off of the social media integration theory, which is a theory that allows all forms of social media to integrate together. Kind of like I was saying earlier, how viewers of a certain show get together, they start talking about the one thing that they all have in common, and getting that second screen experience, which is when TV shows have Facebook or Twitter posts on the bottom of their page and then relate that and make a relationship with their viewers. And this refers to people being linked together through other people, common groups, associations, their interests. Now, if I was to do this all over again, I would probably plan for more time. That way I could establish a focus group. I think it's really important to get honest and valuable feedback face-to-face. In a survey, you can just click right through. With a focus group, you can have a popcorn conversation, and it's all honest. It's all voluntary. It's good to get information from people interacting. Being able to reach more than 112 people would be very helpful. It's a very small, judgmental size as far as social media and TV watchers go. So it's easy to see that Twitter and Facebook and other social media sites are prevalent. They are everywhere you go. And it's also really cool to see that they can further the reach of anything that you're trying to say. Whether it's to one person or to a great amount of people, it is good to use social media to spread that information fast and to really get your message out there. It's really cool also to see social media being used in education now, creating a positive relationship with professors and students. I think that it's very helpful because that's the norm. That's what students are using, and so when teachers establish that into their curriculum, it creates a better relationship. With all that said, I hope you can take a little bit away from this. I think that it's really important to use social media to your advantage. if it's used correctly, it can be a very powerful tool. It's very easy to see that it has a huge reach to multiple people. I've said that all through my entire presentation, but it's so true. So with that being said, good luck, and I look forward to seeing all your videos.